Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel for this very long overdue video. I'm Steven from Legendary Garage Sale Finds, and I'll be showing a truly legendary collection that I found in someone's garage. A little over a month ago, I answered an ad for what looked like an undetermined amount of comics and cards. I couldn't really tell because the pictures weren't all that great. So I messaged the guy, and he said I could come take a look. The collection was a little over an hour drive away, but when I got there, I was completely blown away by what I saw. It took up half a garage, was laid out over 3 tables, and there was also bins on the ground of nearly everything that I look for at garage sales, including trading cards, vintage toys, loose and on card and in box, and comic books everywhere. The seller, Mr. Neal, was explaining that he was selling his brother's collection because he had passed away recently, and he was trying to get his garage back because it was taking up so much space. So I spent nearly 3 hours just looking through the collection to see if it was really a project I wanted to inherit, because I knew it would have been so much work, because in those 2 to 3 hours, I barely scratched the surface of what was there. I did look through a majority of the books while I was there, and while the first few stacks of what I saw really didn't pique my interest, I found a bin full of major and minor keys from the late 80s and early 90s, which had me thinking this probably would be a pretty good investment. Even though I wasn't really looking to start sorting all the toys and the trading cards, because I like them, but they're not really my thing in terms of what their value was. I spent a lot of time thinking, if I put money down on this, how much could I really recuperate in trying to sell all those parts that I didn't want? Because the majority of it I'm going to be selling and finding a collector who really wants it. So it turned out that I nearly missed this collection, because on the day I went, it was a day after Mr. Neal had a commitment fall through on somebody who was looking to drive 10 hours to look at this collection. So taking that into consideration, and the fact that I almost nearly walked away, I decided to turn around and make an offer on the whole thing, because at first I wanted to just make an offer on the comic books, but Mr. Neal would rather have gotten rid of all of it, and he kept telling me that even if it's worth like $100, if you find something great, I just want it gone. So I made an offer, and 3 days later, I went to go pick it up. I have a little bit of footage of that day when I came back to pick it up. It was a crazy cold day, and I was a little nervous that all of it wouldn't fit in my car, but managed to squeeze all of it in. And then came the work of sorting all this stuff, because there was just so much. And a month later, I've been through about 90% of it, so much that I feel comfortable showing with everybody here and sharing this immense, great collection. So aside from all the trading cards, toys, collectibles, and comic books, there were 2 posters in the collection. One was pretty torn up, but the other one was quite a unique find that I haven't seen before. So I'm not sure if it's going to fit all on frame, but here we have the vampire mistress herself, Vampirella. Gigantic poster. I don't know if we can see all of it, but it's in pretty decent shape. On the ends, it's a little frayed here. You see that? But this is just the first taste of what's to come. And I hope that by the end, everybody who's knowledgeable in trading cards, the toys, could throw out their 2 cents in the comments just to let me know if there's anything I should be looking for, if anything they see is super rare, because at the end, I'll tell you how much I paid for all of it, but it's going to be quite the great find and video. So stay tuned. We'll take a look at all this collection.
I didn't want to leave and have to come back when he got here, so I didn't want to leave.
Why is Papa, you smell me?
But yeah, so yeah, just, huh?
You got Doug's number?
No, you can, if you want to call him and tell him come over here and meet you here where you can sign that paper.
Ooh.
Yeah, cause I got everything here, and if you got your title by you. But yeah, bring both of them. Come on.
Okay, so here we have all the trading cards that I picked up in this collection. There is quite an extensive amount. Without a doubt, there's probably about 2,000 cards here. I kind of lost count around 900, but there are just so many series, and I don't have too much knowledge about the value or what to look for with certain trading cards. So I'm hoping those who watch this can give me a few pointers, but these cards date back to the early 90s. So in this box alone, we have about 600 Magic the Gathering cards. Over here you see the series that make up this box: Fallen, Empires, Ice Age, Dark Steel, Champion, Saviors, and the 4th edition. Now all these cards are well taken care of. Each of them is in a hard plastic card protector. So if you're familiar with any of those series, let me know what I have to look for to determine if these are really rare Magic cards, because I haven't done too much research on each individual one. Now, over here in this box, there was quite a wide range of series. This whole stack right here is Elvis Presley. We have NASCAR and other race cars here. MTV Animation. So there is the Max, Eon Flux, and Beavis and Butthead. And here we have a few baseball type cards right here. And this box, mostly DC cards. I haven't come across too many of them, but they are pretty neat. DC Icon, if I'm not mistaken. Now, my two favorite boxes are these back here. They are full of 90s Marvel cards. Let me see that from right here. Now, I know with the release of the new Deadpool and Wolverine movie coming out later this year, there might be a renewed demand for these cards. As you can see here, we got Wolverine and Deadpool right at the top. Also in hard plastic containers. Got a box of original Batman cards there, and just so many other cases full of Marvel sets from the early 90s. And in this box, we have Spider-Man. I can bring it over here a little bit closer. But really awesome Spider-Man cards. Some are chrome and foil, but I'm not sure if they're like the rarest ones in the set. But as you can see, this box is full of it. There's Hulk and the Thing right here. So here's another box full of cards. Probably needs another 300 to 500. And there are some sets put together here. Not sure what that is there, but really awesome. Now for the binders. Each one of these binders has one or more Marvel card sets. I believe this one is from 91. I'm not going to flip them individually because there's just so much. But here we have classic Wolverine and other characters. I flipped them as already, and I've seen Wolverine, Deadpool, and a lot of MCU now famous characters that make up these runs. So not too familiar if that's going to increase the value of some of these. And I'm not even sure if there are full sets, because when you flip through them, I believe the spaces were left for cards that were missing from each set. But still, pretty nice though. I find these in all really good condition. You got Ant-Man, Daredevil. Very familiar names now, thanks to the Marvel Cinematic Universe and Moon Knight. But without a doubt, a really awesome find that only made up one part of this great collection. There's X-Men cards. I believe in the back here we have some nice I remember these cards growing up, the Fleer Ultra cards. I always liked these designs, but this binder is full of it. So I'm hoping if anybody out there is quite familiar with Marvel cards and other comic cards from the 90s, which ones I should be looking for, so I know which ones are the most valuable and sought after that people want to complete their collections. But thank you for watching this part. We're going to get to the next amazing part of this collection. So here we have the part of the collection that was made up of toys and other collectibles. As you can see from this table, mostly Star Wars, a few Transformers pieces, and one random Thundercats guy. Most of it is modern, but there are a few exceptions. The Vader's from the 70s, and I want to say this figure is from the 80s. And Transformers the Movies VHS is from the mid-80s. But it's just a vast assortment of vehicles, the VHS set, puzzles, C-3PO pin, and Happy Meal toys. In this box here, we have the complete set of the Episode 3 Burger King toys. About 34 of them in there. Now, in these boxes, or gigantic bins, here, here, and here is carded Star Wars from the 90s onward, starting with the Power of the Force, Shadows of the Empire, Clone Wars, and Episode 1, 2, and 3. There are about 200 figures on card here. Most of them are in pretty good shape. A few of them have a yellow bubble. One or two of them are torn off the card, but they're all in pretty good shape. Here is the Shadows of the Empire comic set with Boba Fett and the IG-88. So there was just so much to go through, and I'm not really a Star Wars person, so I couldn't really tell you when I saw this collection if these figures were going to be worth all the hassle. But given how many there are, how many trading cards there are, and the comic books, I thought that just improved upon the deal and the eventual price I got it all for. So let me know, guys, if there is any particular item here that is worth more than all the others, or any of those series from the 90s on upwards I should be looking for. Unfortunately, there were no big vehicles or anything in play sets, sealed in box, but I'm going to be probably moving all of this pretty soon and get in the hands of some good collectors. So stay tuned to see what we got next. Okay, by finishing out the toy part of the collection, in this bin we have X-Men, the movie toys, Uncanny X-Men figures, a few more Transformers, McFarlane Spawn, and some Harry Potter. That pretty much rounds out all of the toys picked up in this collection. Okay, everybody, so hope you enjoyed the other parts of the collection. Now we're getting to my favorite, the comic books. There were enough books to fill over 11 short boxes, and then I had to start filling up plastic containers. With that said, we're looking at somewhere over 1,200 books, could be as high as 1,400. But unfortunately, there were just a handful that were damaged. An example right here, got Deadshot #2. There's the damage right there, and on the back. All I can say is be wary when you're out there buying collections. I spent like the 2 hours I was there looking through them, and I did find a few other ones. The guy was straight and honest with me. He said that there were a few books that were damaged that he already pulled and showed them to me, and I found another 6. There were about 10 like that with that damage. But it wasn't all bad news. There were some nice old Silver Age books in the collection, and I have my favorite 3 right here that I'm definitely keeping for myself. So, from 1966, Amazing Spider-Man King Size Annual number 3, with Spidey on this classic cover, taking on the Avengers and the Incredible Hulk. From 1967, we have the Avengers number 1 King Size Annual, with all the classic Avengers on the cover. And one of my favorite books I found, we have Amazing Spider-Man 63. Nice little vulture cover right there. Looks pretty good in the Mylar. Got a little bit of damage right there on the bottom. Other than that, it looks pretty good. So I'm going to skim through the 7 long boxes down here, just to show you what a majority of the collection was. And then we get to my 4 favorite boxes right here. And then the major and minor keys on top. So let's take a look. Okay, so before we get to the books I want to show you in the 7 short boxes, I want to showcase these few promo items I found in the collection. We have 2 of these metallic Overpower card game sheets. There were a few of the Overpower cards in the trading card lot, if I remember correctly. And here we have an assortment of different promo books. I believe this one was from Pizza Hut. A couple of these were inserts for Wizard. Spider-Man. These are neat. It's a little hologram. You can see that. There's a few of them on here. I think there's Gambit on that side. They're pretty neat. Not sure who that is on that one. Oh, it's Nightcrawler. Okay, so here we have the books that made up a couple of long boxes. Alf, selection of Alf, Aquaman, some West Coast Avengers. The White Vision is not in here. We can see all that in there. Bishop. But the random books that are in this lot were the ones I saw first, and there wasn't really much to what was there. Got a few Daredevil. A lot of random titles. Excalibur, some Fantastic Four, but more modern. The Flash, I believe, extends into this box. Flash, Forgotten Realms, got a few Gambits in here. Generation X, Green Arrow, Green Lantern, Hawk and Dove, Huntress. There's several Huntress in here. You see that in there. Infinite Crusade. There weren't too many Iron Mans. Some Lady Death. Festo, New Gods, New Mutants. No, there was not a 98 in here. Just those 3. Midnight Sun, Peacemaker, Phantom Stranger, and I believe majority of this is Punisher, Red Sonja, Ripper, Robin, RoboCop, Rogue, Sabretooth, Scout, Shazam, Silver Surfer, Spectre, Submariner, Super Friends. These are all the Spider-Man line, if I'm not mistaken. So there's not too many keys in this particular Spider-Man series. A few Thors. I got 3 or 4 Thors. That's the remainder of this box here. Next up over here, I want to say we end up the alphabet T through X. Emperella. Interesting Venoms in here. I don't know if any of these Venoms are really worth anything here. There's some nice covers though. Who's Who, Wonder Woman, X-Force, X-Men, X-Men Unlimited, various X-Men series from the 90s here. Fortunately, there was no Uncanny in here. And they have the X-Men series from the 90s. And a few X-Men various books back here. And the last box here, you gotta have everything that's not alphabetized. I used to like this book growing up. Got some Dungeons and Dragons. Oh yeah, Howard the Duck, issue 1. Pretty beat up. Hobbit. You got the first Deadpool series. Batman, DC and Dark Horse Comics. I don't see too often, unfortunately. Amalgam, New Titans, X4, Savage Dragon. We got a lot of old Image. Gilgamesh. I'm not familiar with that title. Nation. But yeah, this is the best assortment that made up 7 short boxes. All right, up here we have the graphic novels. Most of these were still in their plastic here. So starting out, complete Frank Miller Batman, Stacked Deck, the greatest Joker stories ever told. These nice little thick books in leather bound. I got 2 of them still in the original plastic. Lady Death, still bagged up. Batman Year 1. A couple issues of that. This is pretty neat. I've never seen this before. The Spider-Man hardback Spirits of the Earth. So sealed up. And you see here we got 2 of these Batman Bride of the Demon. Got 2 of these. Actually got more than 2. Got 3 of them. Nice cover on this Son of the Demon. Still sealed up pretty good. I thought this was neat. It's an original DC Aliens book 1. This one I had to open because I used to be a fan of this series. Last but not least, we have Evil Ernie, Youth Gone Wild, still sealed up pretty good. Okay, next up, we're gonna hit up my favorite 4 boxes of the collection. Okay, so here we have 3 stacks of books that didn't fit in my short boxes, but they're probably clear indicators of what you're gonna see in them. Here we got Carnage, number 1. I believe this is his first solo series. My favorite from my youth, Cops, issue 1. Here we got the 4-part, the saga of Ra's al Ghul. Multiple copies of it. Now, here we have different variants of the Batman Legends of the Dark Knight. The first 8 and multiple copies of 1, 2, and 3. Continuing with Batman, we have, starting at 418, a nearly complete run of Batman. I believe it goes into the 400s, 439 here. Then we get into some Detective Comics, 592. And that goes into 611 right there. Got a Wolverine stack, Weapon X. Various assortments of Wolverine. And the last few are Marvel Comics Presents Wolverine. So clear indicators of what's I got in these boxes. So let's take a look. Okay, so here we're going to get started with the 4 boxes. We have first up DC versus Marvel Comics, all 4 issues. And although this is not the official Spawn #1, it does start 1 through 50. A nice little filler collection for anybody looking for a low run of Spawn. I think it goes up to the first Angela and other Image Spawn titles here. Oh, and here we have the start of the original Watchmen. Here we got all 1 through 8 right here in really, really good shape. Next up, your favorite and mine, Swamp Thing. Surprisingly, I did need a couple of these issues, so I'm glad I came across this in the back of this box. But no big major keys. I did see this through my first look of the collection, and I was looking for that first John Constantine. Next up, I'm going to pull a few of these out, but we have a box of older Batman from the, I want to say the early 80s. Nice covers here. Had a minor key, the first Nocturna. It was a really nice Batman. Nice Scarecrow cover here. Yeah, one back more. Okay, now I'll be able to flip through these a little bit better now. But all these titles, they're not a full run, unfortunately. But there's just so many of them. I'm glad I found them at least in decent shape. And the back of the box starts older Detective Comics at 442. Might be a few other ones. Let's see here. No, this is 5. There it is, 531. Pretty intermediate all the way till 5 in the 600s. Some more books. But really nice box of Batman and Detective Comics. Okay, here we have more Wolverine. We have, starting with issue 2, all the way up, I want to say, till 89. It is unbroken with all the keys. So if you think about that, you'll see the other ones here shortly. There's 86, and then it jumps around into the hundreds back here. We got some Spider-Man, Wolverine, and Gambit. Now, last but definitely not least, we have our favorite wall crawler. This is our Spider-Man box. Various issues of different Spider-Man books in here. Different team-ups, new and old. That's kind of neat. Spider-Man versus Dracula. Marvel Tales. There is some amazing in here. There they are. That's where they start. And there are some nice McFarlane books in here. There they are. There's a few of them. Unfortunately, some of the big keys are not in here. There's 2 stuck together. together. A nice little assortment of Amazing Spider-Man. We have this is the first Carnage post. I always like that issue right here. Nice cover. Cletus is the name I was thinking about. I couldn't remember. Very nice. All the ones I already have in my collection, so I'm going to be probably selling all these. Amazing Spider-Man. 400s. Web of Spider-Man. Got that shiny hologram. Spectacular shiny one. Scarlet Spider. Crossover. Spider-Man. Spider-Man's Final Adventure. So these will definitely be happy fillers for a lot of collectors. Not sure how many of these I'm going to keep. I already have most of the Amazing Spider-Man already. But haven't decided about the Batmans yet. But the Watchmen are definitely a well sought after series, especially in the condition they are. So they could find candidates for slabbing. So there you have it, guys. Next we're going to look at the minor and major keys. Okay, everyone, so here we have the last set of books from this collection, which make up personal favorites of mine and minor and major keys. So this first book I'm going to show, when I first saw it in the collection, I immediately thought it was a way older book given the style of it. And it was reminiscent of the golden age of Detective Comics, in my opinion. Even though it was a book that came out in the late 80s, the cover completely blew me away. I thought I was looking at a book from the 60s, possibly the 50s. So here we have Detective Comics 571. A really nice Alan Davis cover featuring none other than the Scarecrow, Batman, and Robin. Presents really well in the Mylar. In pretty good shape, I must admit. You can see it right there. Next up from Amazing Spider-Man, we have the Planet of the Symbiotes #1. Really nice cover with a clash between Spider-Man and none other than Venom. We know this starts out a pretty nice arc. Also Amazing Spider-Man, we have the Carnage Spidey right here. Always a nice book to find. Now this is a book I hadn't quite seen before in any other collection I've ever picked up. It is Dungeons & Dragons issue 1. Pretty decent shape in the Mylar. Next up I have two of the same book, direct and newsstand. X-Men #4. First appearance of Omega Red. Now I know this character has been getting a little bit of flack recently, but here we have Spider-Woman, I'm sorry, issue 1. I really like this cover though. Next up, West Coast Avengers #1, introduction of the team. We have two follow-up books. We have the Mighty Thor 411 and 412. The cameo and first cover appearance of the New Warriors. From the Batman series, we have 417. The start of the 10 Nights of the Beast. And I really like this cover. So here we have Batman 450. in this classic Joker cover right there. Okay, continuing with Batman, we have issues 367 and 368. First appearance of a new Robin. You see that right there. Look pretty good in the Mylar. Got a few more Batman series. This is from '87 as well. We got Frank Miller's Batman Year One, the complete set, 1 through 4. I can show all in their condition. They look pretty good. One more Batman series from the '80s. I have multiple copies of A Death in the Family, all in pristine condition. There was unfortunately one of these, I'm not sure which one, that had that damage, which I showed earlier in the video. But all these, multiple copies of it, are in really, really good shape. Look at how many we have of each. There are 4, 3, and the Joker right there. And, oh, here's Batman 442. Got 2 of them. Okay, moving on. We saw the Wolverine box, and so it had 1 through 50. Here we have issue 1 of the Wolverine series. In pretty good shape. You can see that. Personal cover favorite of mine, rather dapper Hulk and Wolverine. Been looking for this cover for quite a few times. And this is the double of this cover, but this was the one with no damage on it. The one in the box still has a little scuff right there. Because we got number 10. We're trademarked to be the first battle between Sabretooth and Wolverine. Two copies of 17 in immaculate shape. Now, the next 2 were unfortunately slightly damaged. There's little water damage on them, but they still present rather well. And one of them was one I've been looking for quite some time. So Wolverine 24 and 88. You can see it right there, a little bit of wave in it. Nice Jiminy cover right there. My last Wolverine book, we have, represents number 72. Weapon X. You see that right there. Okay, now the last few books. So first up, we get the iconic Detective Comics 587. Nice Batman right there. I'll show you the condition. Now the last 3 books, probably the, I'll say the most valuable on them, but they present the best. Amazing Spider-Man 316. Might be in better shape than the one I already have, but yeah, prime candidate for slabbing. And the last two Batman titles, they are well sought after, especially in this really good condition. We have Batman 386, appearance of the Black Mask, and the iconic Batman 423. I can pull in to see the condition of it. Definitely better than my current copy. But rather than upgrading, I think I might slab this one, just to see if it gets into the high 9, maybe 9.6, 9.8. I think it could deal with a pressing, but there are no ticks or color breaks. Let me see right there. But probably the best two books, I think, in the whole collection. So there you have it, guys. That rounds up all of the comics. Like I said, somewhere between at least 1,200, maybe 1,400 books. So with the 14-ish 100 books, the 1,000 or so trading cards, a couple hundred Star Wars toys and other assortment of toys, a lot of items. I couldn't put an exact number on how many of them are specifically, but I can tell you, after hearing Mr. Neil's price, we went back and forth just a little bit. He did tell me that he did receive some rather lowball offers on just the comic books alone. So you saw the caliber of books, not just the ones in the 7 long boxes, but the Batman, Spawn, Watchmen, and he received offers as low as $200 for all of them. And even I know that definitely worth more than that. So given that and everything else he just wanted to get rid of, we came to a number for everything in this collection of $1,800. So let me know what you think of that number, given the cards, toys, and the comic books. I don't know how many of the comic books I think I will send out to be graded, but I think there's some fine candidates in there. Definitely better copies than what I already own, but I just need to be able to read what I got and not damage any of these perfectly preserved books. Given that some of them did get damaged, I'm glad I found them in the condition they were. So thank you guys for all watching. Please let me know what you think of each part of the collection. Give me your 2 cents on what you think about what I paid for it. But until next time, guys, thanks for watching.